cleared today because we have asked for further clarification and amendments. And 19 items were finally taken up and approved. Uh, the first two was a policy and a legal framework for motorcycles and vehicles to be rented out to tourists and to people. As you're aware that many tourists come to our state and they rent vehicles from the private individuals, and till date there has not been a mechanism to actually regulate for the overall uh, you know regulation of the sector as well as overall safety of the tourist. So we have come out with a policy on this matter, and we are now going to regulate it. And people who are interested in renting out the bikes and vehicles to the tourist will have to now register with the transport department to be able to rent their vehicles to tourists in the future. So those were the first two. One was for vehicles and one was for motorcycles. The third agenda we took up in the cabinet was the extension of the lease for Polo Orchid and Jiva Resort in Sora. As you're aware, in the beginning, the uh, resort, both Jiva and Polo, was given about close to about 30 years of lease, and they were paying a certain amount to the state government based on the lease. Yeah. So earlier it was leased out for 10 years to each one of them, and they were paying 2 lakhs by the Polo, 2 lakhs per month, and 2,48,000 by the Jiva Resort. Then in between, we extended the lease to 8 years for Orchid, Polo, and 5 years for Jiva. In between that, we have now leased out many properties to different private players, and we have extended the lease years to up to 60 years so that the feasibility of the project comes out. So based on that, the Orchid and Polo as well as the Jiva Resort have requested the government if they can also get another 30 years of lease based on the steps taken by the government to give to the new parties that are coming in today. So therefore, this came to the cabinet, and cabinet has looked at this, and we have approved this increase of lease of 30 years more to both of them. And we have also decided to increase the amount that they pay to 4% of their gross revenue, which is what is the benchmark for the other resorts that are coming up in that area and in the different parts of the state. So therefore, from 2 lakhs and 2,48,000, they will now have to give us a part of their revenue, which is about 4%, is what has been decided. And at the same time, they will have to give an annual lease rental of 5 lakh rupees also to the government. So this was the third decision we took. We had a large number of service rules. So I'll just go into the service rules directly. So we had amended the Meghalaya Subordinate Treasury Accounts Service Rule. We have also amended the Meghalaya Urban Affairs Service Rule 2024. We have also amended the Meghalaya Nursing Homes Licensing and Registration Rules 2015. We have also amended the Meghalaya Judicial Service Rules 2006 and Meghalaya Higher Judicial Service Rules 2015. We have also amended the Meghalaya Police Telecommunication Service Rules 2010. We have also amended the Meghalaya Directorate Establishment Ministerial Service Rules 2025. Yeah, so these are the rules that were today, service rules which were amended today. Apart from that, that we have. So in that wine policy, we have only, as you're aware, we have fruits that we use, but now we are including rhizome, which is like ginger and bulb, rootstock, etc. Floral sauces, honey, all these kind also have been converted into homemade wine. These products will also be included in the homemade wine policy, the fruit policy, which of course had come out quite a long time back. So these decisions were made today in the cabinet in regards to excise department. We also had a decision where we have decided to purchase property from the government side through MIDFC to promote the slalom course in Umtham River in Riboy district area. This area, as you know, is the area where the slalom as well as the river canoeing and kayaking sports are played. In the last games, if you remember, we had won in the national games 5 medals in these categories. And this is one category that Meghalaya is doing very well compared to the rest of the country. We are very keen to promote this, and in line with that, we have decided to build up a full course, a slalom course at Umthan River in Ripoy district. And this will be the only course of the kind in the entire country once it is fully complete in terms of the overall development that takes place there. And in this area, there's about 14 acres area, which includes about 8 to 9 acres of tree plantation also across the street, which is coming up as a package, and the entire land along the river. And a total of about 21 crores is being spent to purchase this area. And as I said, this is the only place and the most viable place to conduct these games, and it will be the only kind of its course in the entire country. And we're hopeful that this would become, as I said, one of the main places where slalom and other such water activities will take place in the days to come. We also today have cleared the, yeah, so we have also decided today to discontinue the optional subject in the MCS competitive exams. Now, as you know, in the competitive exams, there are certain set subjects, and apart from the certain set subjects, there is an optional subject. So a student can take the optional subject as mathematics, as geography, history, whatever, and there are 23 of them. Now, what happens is that because of the optional subjects, sometimes the level playing field is not there, because it depends on those 23 subjects that are optional. Some years, some optional subjects are easier compared to others. Sometimes the marking systems are easier compared to others. And there seems to be kind of an undue advantage that comes as per the optional subject the individual takes. So there are 23 of them. And also, it is a huge task for MPSC to conduct these optional exams that are there. And therefore, based on the recommendations that have been given by the MPSC itself and by a MPSC reform committee that was formed quite some time back, this particular suggestion has been given, and we have decided in the cabinet to accept that suggestion. And this optional subject paper that was there in the MCS service is now going to be removed. And in the future, rather, we will have a subject which will be on Meghalaya. We will introduce a subject on Meghalaya, where we would like to ask and allow our, the uh, candidates to know the different aspects of Meghalaya, its economics, its culture, its different aspects of its, of its history. All of these things will be introduced in the Meghalaya subject, because you're going to be officer of the Meghalaya Civil Service. So therefore, we'll remove the optional subject, and we will put in a subject on our state of Meghalaya. And of course, there'll be different aspects to it. So those details, there will be a committee or a group of officials who will work that out and recommend on what kind of subjects and what aspects should be put in there. So this was a very important decision, a very important reform, I should say, which will help in conducting the MCS exams in a much faster and much quicker manner. And more importantly, it will allow a level playing field for all the candidates who apply. Given the uh, financial powers to the Director of Prosecution as head of department. As you know, the head of department, HOD, has got certain financial powers. So delegation of financial powers was not there for the Director of Prosecution, since it's a new department. So we have just regularized it by passing it in the cabinet today, and the financial powers and other delegations have been given to the Director of Prosecution. Um, we have also amended the delegation of financial power rules 2006 to include the DCA to also have this financial powers, which will be given to the joint secretary of the DCA, which is the District Council Affairs Department. Just to share with you a bit of the background on this, this is important, and I hope you'll cover this part. Earlier, the district councils used to get revenue, or they still get revenue, and they share from transport department, mining department, and forest department. So whenever the district councils used to uh, follow up the procedures to get their share, they had to follow up at three different levels with three different departments, and the process was very tedious. So therefore, we have decided as a government now to ease the process of delegating and distributing the revenues. That DCA now will be the concerned department, or the concerned nodal department, that will now disperse all the revenue shares to the district councils, and they will not have to go to mining, forest, and transport. And so now, to streamline that procedure, the financial delegation and the powers must be also with the joint secretary of the DCA, as there is no HOD of DCA. So the joint secretary is the same level as the head of department and or director, as we all know. So therefore, in line with that, to ensure that this decision is implemented properly, the financial powers now will be delegated to the joint secretary of the DCA. So that decision was taken today, and this will be a very important, I should say, reform in terms of the working system of the district council affairs. We have also amended today the uh, second amendment we have made now to the Meghalaya Building Bylaws of 2025. Um, just want to go through that. The amendments to the bylaws have been made, where we have now again in the process of trying to streamline the entire ease of doing business. We are now, number one, adopting the online building permission system. So with this, from August 11th, people applying for permission for buildings to be constructed, they can apply online. So they don't have to physically apply it. That's number one. Number two, we have also proposed to make it easy for people to get permissions. For example, for low risk buildings, and mainly low risk buildings, which is residential, commercial, and industrial, up to 2,500 square feet, or a built up area of up to 3,000 square feet with only G+1 and a 7-meter maximum building height. The technical permissions and the technical approvals will not be required from MUDA anymore. So, if you are a building of a low risk building, there will be empaneled architects who can empanel themselves onto the website. Once they empanel, as an individual who would like to construct a building and a house in the low risk building, residential, commercial, industrial area, as per specifications I have mentioned, they will simply have to self attest and get it approved by these engineers and architects who are empaneled by the government. They'll submit it online. They can start their construction even without the permission being given. And in 30 days' time, the permission will be granted to these individuals to start their construction. At the same time, uh, larger buildings, which will be there, which is G+2 and up to a maximum built up area of 750 square feet, we will have empaneled architects and a council of architects and companies and engineering firms, which will be empaneled and registered by us, who will be then what we call third party verification agencies. And they will be kind of engaged by the department. And these individuals who are applying for permission, they will simply take the help of these architects and engineers, and they'll be able to get the permissions so that they can start the construction of their building. So therefore, we are working in order to make it easy for now people to get building permissions. And these amendments were today cleared in the cabinet. We have also today we have also today cleared the amendment of the Meghalaya excise rules for the insertion of new rules 149A, license for fermented country liquor by individuals, firms, society, etc. This basically is an amendment and a rule that has been introduced for our local country fermented uh, drinks that are made by our people, which are local drinks, but restricted to fermented ones only, not distilled ones. So the distillery is completely different. There are many agencies that make distilled ones, but we are sticking, and this amendment is mainly for the fermented. So like bacchi we make. So therefore, we are now regulating that in a manner in which we will be able to, in a way, give the necessary permissions to people who would like to promote our local fermented drinks. Again, I'm repeating the word fermented because distilled ones are different, fermented ones are different. So the fermented products that are there, which already in fact are being made by our people, there was no framework to regulate them in the past. So we have created now a framework to regulate the fermented country liquor, and slowly we will now engage with others for the distilled one, because distilled ones are being done even at the traditional heads level and different things, so those need a bit larger engagement. But the fermented ones, as I said, are things that are being done at large scale, small scale, and now entrepreneurs also are very keen to make this more commercial in the sense from a tourism point of view. So all of these things are being done, and for that this amendment has been made, and this will now allow our local entrepreneurs and local individuals who are interested in this fermented country liquor to now produce it and make it in a proper manner. And a framework for that has been passed today by the cabinet. At the same time, in the excise department, they have also passed a decision, and the cabinet has approved the decision today, that there were earlier three categories for the bonded warehouses. One category was for turnover of 20 crores and above. Another was category B of 10 crores and up to 20 crores. And one was up to 10 crores. So there were three categories. We have reduced those three categories now to only two categories. So there will be category A, which is for 20 crores per annum and above, and those who are 20 crores and below. So below 20 crores. So these two categories now have been made, reducing it from three categories because there was too much of complexity. So we have decreased it, and there are now only two categories: one above 20 crores turnover and one below 20 crores turnover. So this was another decision we have taken. Another decision today that was made was, as you